an alliance, and this movement is called Egyptians Abroad for Democracy. We've got 3 representatives who were actually there on the ground during the 2 major massacres that took place and for the majority of the protests. And first up, we have Mohamed Ismail, the coordinator of Egyptian Americans for Democracy. Please come up.
Hello everyone. My name is Mohamed Ahmed. I'm an American Egyptian. I'm the coordinator of Egyptian Abroad for Democracy movement, which was established right after the assassination of our 1-year-old democracy via the recent military coup. I have to say that I have not lived or understood the meaning of democracy before I moved to USA. However, only last year, for the first time in Egypt, I saw democracy practiced under President Morsi. As an American citizen, I'm perplexed by the silence of our US government about the coup and refusal to denounce the military takeover. Such silence is unfortunately being interpreted as a partnership with the coup's leaders. I watched the White House spokesperson refusal to call the coup what it really is. Sadly, such a refusal is astonishing to anyone living in this great nation and anywhere in the free world. Everyone growing up in the United States has learned and understood principles of democracy. But what's not understandable is why such principles are not transferable to other nations. Why don't we practice what we preach? Why we deny others what we take for granted? Our best interest should be based on our own credibility and nothing else. I'm sure that some might believe that denying other democracy may benefit us on the short run. But what about the long run? Are we saying to Egyptians, we do not believe that you should have democracy because it's not my best interest? Are we saying to them that US only grants democracy when it's self-serving? Are we saying to Egyptians that the only way to get through freedom is through violence? I have witnessed the ouster of a democratically elected president and constitution through the most undemocratic and violent means. I say to President Obama, what happened in Egypt is a military coup, and what happened afterwards were massacres of peaceful, unarmed demonstrators who wanted nothing but protecting their own infant democracy. However, all we have seen so far is a reluctance to call things what they really are and refusal to condemn murders. Abraham Lincoln once defined democracy as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Does current interim government in Egypt fit such a definition in any way or form? Secretary of State John Kerry has mentioned in a recent statement that the Egyptian army is protecting democracy in Egypt. I would like to say something to Senator Kerry. Democracy does not need protection when it's by the people, for the people. The US silence only creates animosity among nations. Your silence would simply justify ideologies of those who resort to violence to solve their own problems. We still have time. We still have time to take the right path and follow our own principles, not because some distant foreigner somewhere might benefit from it, but because it's really our own best interest. Mr. President, one last thing. What will you do if the army decides to take over and depose you due to your popularity decrease? Will you still be hesitant to call it a coup? I would like to show you guys some pictures that I have saw it by my own eyes. I witnessed the massacre that took place in Rabaa Square. Those people, I saw it. As soon as they heard the gunfire, they ran to prevent the people from getting in. They have no arms whatsoever. I took the back lines. I couldn't go to the front as they do, and they have nothing. They have nothing except their chests like that. And all of them were killed in front of me. There are more than 150 people. I will leave this for you guys to see it. And those are just few pictures of what took place in the Rabaa Square. Thank you very much. Thanks for giving me the time. Thank you very much. Can I leave the pictures on here?
Absolutely. Next up, we have another American, Egyptians Abroad for Democracy member, Nahla Nasser. She's a French Egyptian who's actually specifically gone to Egypt for the Rabaa protest and has been there since.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
My name is Nahla Nasser. I'm a French Egyptian currently finishing my master's in a French engineering school and an active member in the Egyptians Abroad for Democracy movement. I have been participating daily in protests and an eyewitness to security forces' atrocities in Rabaa Square from the first day of the bloody military coup. On July 19th, a massacre specifically targeting women was committed in Al-Mansoura. The targeting claimed lives of peaceful, unarmed 3 women and a 17-year-old girl calling for the return of constitutional legitimacy. This is a 17-year-old girl who was attacked and killed. This could have been me, a peaceful protesters just fighting for my dignity. The Egyptian security forces and its paramilitary deliberately targeted women in Al-Mansoura for several reasons. Participation rate of women in protests across Egypt has been and still is quite high. They come from various social economic classes, albeit slightly more from the upper class, therefore providing an image opposite to the mainstream media projected revolution of the poor one. They tend to draw their male and female family members as participants or protectors, therefore prolonging time spent on the streets. The women could easily change the mainstream media projected image against Islamists that Muslim women are sequestered at home and not equal to male counterparts. Women are likely to get more emotionally involved with scenes of injustice and brutality against the innocent than men. Therefore, they tend to persevere more as protesters. As a result, women could extend protest time for their family members on the streets. And women tend to instill the experience in future generations, which is quite unsettling for coup leaders on the long run. The female awareness and participation in protests across Egypt has been undescribable. Such commitment is quite troubling to coup leaders. Therefore, I believe that this and all of the above are real motives behind targeting women in Al-Mansoura. What is happening in Egypt is no longer about President Morsi. It's about realizing what self-determination means, one's ability to obtain freedom, and one's ability to influence one's present and future. I would like to let the whole world know that we will not leave the streets until we get our rights, democracy, freedom, and our lost dignity back. Thank you very much.
Next up, we've got Mahmoud Nasser, also an Egyptians Abroad for Democracy member who was present for both massacres, and he'll give his eyewitness account.
Hello everyone. My name is Mohamed Salah. I am a French-Egyptian citizen currently finishing off my master's degree in Paris, France. I went to Egypt from France specifically to fight for my rights, to fight for my vote, and to fight for democracy after this bloody coup. I would like to start off by saying that all the events that I will be unfolding to you are from my own personal experience, since I was a first-hand witness in each and every one of them. I'd like to also point out very quickly that I have no political affiliation with any political party, nor with the Muslim Brotherhood whatsoever. I would like to say a quick word about the complete and utter control the military has over the Egyptian people. We have been attacked on 2 occasions. First, in the Republican Guard, where dozens of peaceful and unarmed protesters were killed. And secondly, when the military decided to bombard the Rabaa Square with 3 military tanks. These 2 separate events have made me, my friends, my relatives, my family, and hundreds of thousands of peaceful and unarmed protesters to be in constant fear of our own military. The same military that is supposed to protect the country's borders from its enemies. The same military that is attacking and killing peaceful and unarmed protesters. And I tell you this because I've seen this with my very own eyes. They're intending to kill, because many of the deaths have had gunshot wounds to the head and to the chest. All of this, and the Egyptian media does not even acknowledge the massacres, and the foreign media still persists on calling these clashes. Let me also point out that these 2 separate events happened whilst we were praying. We were just in the Rabaa Square praying the dawn prayers when the military decided to attack us. Can you imagine if you feared walking down the streets of the United States, feared by being attacked by your own military? Can you imagine if all you were doing was fighting for something that you had the right to fight for, something that was stolen from you, and have your own military to attack you? This is exactly what has happened to us